idea. Okay, alright then. Well, let's go through this one then. Yeah? So we make the list. We might miss some lists because like we made it like about a few minutes ago. So yeah. Well, to start with, right? I mean, like you start the game, you pick a class, you level 1 to 50 mainly, basically. In terms of like how efficient it is. 1 to 50, you can just do main story quests. There is a pet quest on Leonhardt on the first city that you are at level 14 around, I think. I think around level 14. That gives you the pet so that it can auto loot for you. So that's nice to have. Mount, you get it from like main quest only. And then as you go through the main quest, it will get you to level 50 right away. Side quests, it's not that important to do at all actually. At this point, like you don't really need to do any side quests. You'll get to level 50 right away. There are some side quests that gives you skill points, some hidden ones as well. Personally, I don't think it's that important. You can skip this first, I think, until you probably like have a downtime later on. Then you can go back and do the side quests. Side quests are not going anywhere, man. So yeah, what matters is that like you don't waste time first. So yeah, in terms of efficiency. So yeah, life skill probably something that you would do if you're gonna like main on the server anyway, right? Life skill at the start, you unlock life skill at like around level 20 something at Lake Bar, the city. You get life skill, and wait, maybe they changed that already. Basically, you get life skill. If you can get life skill, try to get some logs or some iron ores first because you can sell that earlier. Because a lot of people will try to get like upgrade their estate and that need logs and iron ores. So use some of the life skill energy for that, mainly so that you don't overcap it. The life skill regens over time. So as long as you don't like let it overcap, then you're good enough. So yeah, and that's mainly it. Mokoko, you can just like skip it. To be honest, Mokoko is not going anywhere. Same thing with like side quests. So yeah, Awakening one. This depends here. You can skip it and get it through knowledge transfer if you want to. If you wanna do that. But Awakening one is like it also has like the final skill that you have. For example, if you're playing sharpshooter, then snipe is the final skill. You kind of want that, so get it. But if you're like let's say running like Deadeye with like perfect shot as the final skill or blaster energy field as the final skill, you can probably skip it and get it through like knowledge transfer or something like that. I'll go through knowledge transfer later. Later, once you reach raw handle, there is Awakening 2. Unless you're paladin, I think you can just skip this and just do it later when you have time. If you're a paladin, then I guess you kind of like wanna do this because you need your second awakening for like the support awakening. So yeah, towers you can skip, to be honest. Get it later again until once you have downtime. I mean, you can do it, I guess. Get some skill points, get some like the engraving books, but you get most of them anyway. So you can do it later, I would say. Card sets. I mean, card set, there is not a lot of things to talk about. Save the Celia and save the Solus one at the start. That's what's important. Because you want the critical card set. So if you have like the priest, the Inquisitor Solus, where on the cutscene basically, you will see that cutscene. The girl and the priest basically save that card. And then for gearing will go through later, I guess. I mean, like at the start of it, right? Once you get to level 50, you will be at burn. So what I recommend people do is, I guess depends on your reset time. If it's about to reset, then you do your chaos dungeon to get your gear. If it's about to reset, but if you have like a few hours until reset, or if you're in EU, then it's unrealistic to get like a reset on the first day, because like it's 7 hours to actually get the reset. Then you skip this chaos dungeon first, get the gear through finishing Sushire. So you finish Sushire first, and then you get like the 302 gear. That's the upgradable gear basically. So yeah, and then that's at the start basically, right? So yeah, is it worth knowledge transfer as soon as you can? I'll explain after that then. So once you reach like level something, you can level like 30 something, you unlock the estate, but it's not gonna be that much useful for you at the start. But basically, you just unlock it, right? In estate, there will be a blue quest for knowledge transfer. This thing doesn't need you to level your estate first. You don't need to do that. So knowledge transfer, you can just like use it right away. So just do the blue quest, unlock the knowledge transfer, and you can do the what's the name? The knowledge transfer right away. What knowledge transfer do basically for people that doesn't know is that you can pay in-game currency, gold that is, to actually like skip the story and boost your character, something like that. It's a boost through in-game currency, right? So yeah, the first thing that you need to do is get 600 gold after unlocking this, right? 600 gold is not that difficult. Getting like level 1 to 50, you will get gold anyway, and there will be some like guide quests basically. It's a purple quest that gives you gold. Those kind of thing usually it's really easy and fast to get, and you can get 600 gold pretty easily already. Then you can get the knowledge transfer and use it right away. Pros is, while this knowledge transfer is going, it takes 8 hours to reach level 50, basically, right? The pros is like you just like get it there, and then you can continue your main after that. And then the cons is it costs 600 gold mainly, which is not that difficult to get at the start, but getting it subsequently is gonna be harder later on. At least if you're still in tier 1. So yeah, that's the start basically. There is a limit on how it works. Basically, one character you can knowledge transfer one. That's basically how it works, except for the burn. For the burn quest, the burn one, the burn knowledge transfer, that's the level 1 to level 50 basically. So basically, like for like 1 to 50, you can do it like 12 times basically. There is 12 times basically for you to get like after your first character, but normally you don't make more than 6 anyway. So yeah, so basically like whenever you reach one character level 50, you can knowledge transfer like the other 5, something like that. For the burn, at least for the 1 to 50. Above that, one character reach finishing raw handle means you can like knowledge transfer one extra ult to like raw handle. So yeah, and that's basically how knowledge transfer work at the start, right? So yeah, and then for the estate, ideally once you unlock your estate, you start working on the estate dispatch to actually get like some XP, maybe some research, but research is gonna be expensive at the start, mainly because of logs and iron ores, right? And get it to at least like level 15, so you can unlock the farm. The earlier you unlock the farm, the better, because like if you're not doing like life skill on the overworld, right, at least do it on the farm. It takes like way less time, but you cannot sell those materials, so you cannot gain profit out of it. You can only minimize your cost. So yep, and that basically like covers like the alts as well, because like this knowledge transfer basically is gonna get you your alts, and doing dailies on them takes like about 30 minutes, so it's not actually that difficult. So you're done with like estate and knowledge transfer. After that, then is there an estate unlock at level 10? Estate unlock is at like level 30 something, and then like once you unlock it, it starts at level 5. So it's like a player housing, yeah. So yeah, so that's like basically estate and knowledge transfer. You're done with that. You got your knowledge transfer, let's say, going. If I am there, like let's say if I'm gonna main on NA, right, I would like get to level 50, right, finish the burn, go to like estate, right, knowledge transfer an alt right away. I don't know, whatever class that you feel like you wanna play as an alt, basically. So once the knowledge transfer is going, you wait 8 hours, right, for the knowledge transfer is going, and then like you go back to your main, finish the Soothsayer and get the gear. So that's basically what I would do. Finish Soothsayer, get the gear, and I don't do dailies yet at this point. So at this point, what I would do is I go to my islands right here. So islands is there is the exclamation island basically for like the list of the islands, but there is the list of the islands here and there. I have like another document basically for like pathing and everything, but that one is still like I need to double check that yet. So I'll probably link that later, and maybe like change the comments on the stream later. But basically, you start doing your islands after that, right? You do your islands to basically get materials and engraving books right here. This is why tower is not that important, because like you get engraving books from like islands anyway from the start, and also a lot of materials to begin with, right? So with engraving books, I would probably prioritize class engraving at the start, because like you can make do. Usually class engraving level 1 is really good, really efficient. So I would run with like engraving books at like level 1 at the start, and then get all of the materials of it. Again, pathing will be later basically. So yeah, and then with all of these material engraving books, I would upgrade my gear. Probably can reach about 460 to begin with. I think it depends. But basically, right, if you can reach 460 right away, depending on how it is, you can basically do raw handle first. After that, you go back and do raw handle again for the main story quest. Then once I'm done, I would probably already like higher item level, right? That lets me do my first chaos dungeon to be like somewhere in raw handle. I don't even need to do the Soothsayer or like burn chaos dungeon. So you get like more materials through this. So ideally you do this first before you get before you start doing your daily. Unless it's about to reset or you're about to sleep and it's gonna go through with the reset, then I guess you do chaos dungeon. Then you don't have a choice at that point. So yeah. So at that point, you're done with like Rohandel, you're done with like 400, like around like 460 item level or above. And then you start doing your Chaos Dungeon and Guardian Raids and Una quest basically. Set up your Bifrost if you need it for the Una quest, so you make it like faster the next time you do it, the next day maybe. And then like before you do Chaos Dungeon and Guardian, make sure you grab your weekly Epona, weekly Una quest basically. I guess it's Una tokens, wasn't it? Una tokens. So basically, like you grab your weekly one, so you can start farming the Una tokens at the start. It's not gonna be a lot of gold, but at the start, it's still a nice amount of gold. So yeah, cause in tier 1, tier 2. So yeah. Infinite Chaos Dungeon, people keep saying that like, oh, dude, run the Infinite Chaos Dungeon for engraving books and everything, right? Again, you get it from here already. There is 0 point to do this unless you need extra books. Don't know why you need extra books if you wanna be efficient though. At that point, like you should, I don't know. I don't think you will need this until like you have maybe downtime later. So yeah. And then after that, you start doing your weekly Abyss Dungeons. Abyss Dungeon here. So Abyss Dungeon is not actually that important anymore, right? The only reason why it's nice to do is it still gives you gold. And again, the gold is not a lot, but in tier 1, tier 2 it's pretty nice, mainly for knowledge transfer right here. You can use this gold that you get from here and from your knowledge transfer alt to basically earn you more gold at the start. So, and that's basically what you do Abyss Dungeon for. Materials from this you don't use to like craft the gear. Crafting the gear is kind of like a waste because you're gonna replace it super fast anyway. So at that point, I would just dismantle the crafting materials, and then get the upgrade materials, then upgrade even more. There is also Challenge Guardian, Challenge Abyss Dungeon for the week basically, which is the equalized PvE content. Challenge Guardian you can do at 460 plus. It's not hard to do. Just get a party and do it. Abyss Dungeon is 960 or above. So at that point, you're already tier 2 or above for the Challenge Abyss Dungeon. So, and yeah, that's what you do whenever you can, I guess. So it's nice to have. This also give like material and stuff like that, so it's pretty nice to have, but you don't really have to do it like right away. It's like, it's still a weekly thing, right? This is still weekly, so you have like until the end of the week to actually like do it. So yeah, then whenever like you do, like let's say like you do like a main story, you do upgrade already with the islands, you have knowledge transfer going right now, and then you have finished with your daily and weeklies, then you have downtime after that, if you still have time for that. If you have downtime, then it's free for you what to do. You can make more alts manually while the knowledge transfer is going as well, and maybe do the side quests if you want to do the adventure book. You can also do collectibles if you want to in the middle of that. So yeah, I mean that's basically everything right there. So yeah, it's a lot of things in one go, but I mean the order is basically that. At least that's what I would do. So yeah. Yep, go through everything, man. So yeah. For the Una daily, should we focus on Leapstone or Emeralds? I think they were called. It depends. Because like sometimes you might need Emeralds, sometimes you might need Leapstones. So yeah, what do you need? The question is what do you need, right? Depending on what you need, you do whatever it is that gives you that. So yeah. The Guardian and Abyss Dungeon. Guardian is one of your daily. The Abyss Dungeon is basically one of your weekly end game content at the start of like a start of an AU. So yeah. Quick question: do you know if you will have to restart the game to see the server list when the servers go live on the 8th? Yes, I think they said that. So yeah, I don't think like it will be like the beta. I think they said you have to relog, but don't know, right? So yeah. Videos, guides, documents, videos, hats down. Well, I mean like people that like have the knowledge, right? We might as well share it to like everyone else. You know, we want everyone to enjoy the game. We don't want people to fail. Well, except maybe certain people. But yeah, we don't want other people to fail. We want everyone to enjoy the game as well. Because this is our game. Is there a quest in tier 2 areas that rewards gear set similar in what Shire does for tier 1? No. Unfortunately, once you get to Yorn in tier 2, you have to actually like farm the gear and pray that it drops. So yeah, I think that's one of the bad thing about the progression thing. Why can't Yorn give the gear like Shire? Clearly Shire did that. Why can't you do this? So yeah. How do you guys ever go for noise transfer? At the start, side quest and guide quest will basically give you the gold. I went through it already. So yeah. One stoops to fail. Okay, I have question at 7. There will be free Fox Pet giveaway if I watch for our stream. Do you need, but do you need Amazon Prime for this? I have no idea, dude. No idea, no idea. Do you think it's better to keep the first knowledge transfer, use it, you reach tier 2 on main? Once you get like the knowledge transfer done and set up, basically, once you're done with that, you keep like you keep going. Oh shit! Wait, what? Maximum June. Holy shit! There is a lot of here, right? Okay, now it's being buried right there. Maximum, was it maximum June? Thank you for the raid, man. Holy shit, that's like thousands of people right there. Yeah, Mr. Limit Max. Yeah, big fan Max. Been following since like the what's the name? Been following since like the 14th journey right there. So yeah. Not scared, and thank you for the prime sub, man. And everyone, thank you for the follow as well. I missed a lot of follow because I went through like you know, just a quick guide for like level 50 basically. So yeah, liquid raid. Yeah, thank you for the raid. Welcome everyone, welcome. We were going through like this right now. So yeah, when I knowledge transfer 1-to-1, do I have to make a new alt to do another 1-to-1? For raw handle and above, yes. For burn quest, which is level 1 to 50, no, you don't have to. One character unlocks 12 basically already, and that's basically the max you can have for knowledge transfer. So yeah, certain people to fail 100% a Stingo Device Paladin. I wasn't thinking of that, so yeah. Well, that's basically everything for like the what's the name, for the progression right there. That's if you want to be efficient, by the way. Like if you wanna be like just chilling, ideally like the best way you do it is like you do it at your own pace. You don't wanna go through this to the way that I said it and then like get burned out like in the first month basically. You don't wanna do that. So if you wanna do side quests, you wanna chill, you do that basically. This is just like a way like I would run it if I am, let's say, maining in like NAEU and then like trying to go as fast as possible. So yeah. Oh shit, Simis with the 10 gifties as well. Dude, the notification can keep up right now. Thank you, Simis, man. Thank you, dude. 10 gifty. Appreciate it, Simis. Thank you. Really appreciate it. 5'8". But yeah, that's basically how it is, man. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up for this for now. So yeah, hope like this would help like for some people that are looking for like this kind of way. So yeah, alright. We're done, and now we're back in game then. Back in game. Welcome everyone. Okay, for the advice for the mains, right? For the people that like have their main that are not on release. So the way you do it is basically you pick like classes that you want to play as an alt, right? And then you do like basically like what I said about like how to do the launch, right? Basically, so you get to tier 3 first. Get to tier 3 and make it a 1340 item level, and just stop over there. Start farming like what's the name? Materials, gold, and everything at 1340. Get more alts all the way over there. Get your alts basically. So maybe like let's say 5 alts. So you have like 1 slot left for the 6 slot, right? And after that, the 6 slot, you just wait for the class to release. Once the class is released, you just push it all the way up as your main. And that's basically how you do. If let's say your main release after Argos, then you are not participating on Argos whenever it releases. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. But yeah, that's basically what